All right, everyone. So, in this video here, I wanted to talk about a recent game that came out for the Nintendo Switch, and that is Chocobo GP. So, I'm literally just loading it up right now. And part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because there's been a lot of people essentially hating on this game because the game came out, and at least here in the US, it's strictly a downloadable only. So if you want a physical version, you basically have to import um, a Japanese version or like a European version, I think. I don't know, but in the US, there's no physical version, so strictly digital. And the way they did this release is they have the full price version, which is $50, and there's also a light version that is free. And I kind of see why they did this. Because, and by the way, this is the full price version size. I paid $50 for this. And essentially, and I'm kind of torn by this because the actual game itself, when you're actually playing the game, it's actually not that bad. The problem is the in-game currency in the in-game shop. It is littered with many different things to purchase. And the way you progress in this is essentially a free-to-play model, like a mobile free-to-play model. So there's two different currencies. So you got this currency here that you can acquire by playing the game a little bit, but it's mostly purchasing this stuff with real money. You can get these tickets by actually playing the game, which is fine, no problem with that. And the gold coins, again, it's something that you can acquire while playing the game. But at first, I got the light version just to try it out, see how it is. And then I was thinking, it's like, there's these other modes. If I'm going to make a video on this, let me go ahead and get the full price version and start checking all this other stuff out. So the biggest difference between the light version and the full price version is the multiplayer option in the light version is disabled. Story mode is only the first chapter in the game, and time attack, series races, and custom races, these are all disabled. So basically, the point of just getting the light version is strictly for this Chocobo GP. This is like the main thing of this game. Yes, there is a single player option, with the story mode you can do just custom races. And you can do like your standard multiplayer, but the meat of the game is this Chocobo GP. And this is why they also put a light version. Because if you go in here, you can go to the shop and you can get all this stuff here. And keep in mind, if we go to the eShop, this is where you actually buy this stuff for real money. And I'm not going to lie to you, I did, purchase, the special commemorative price to celebrate the release of, I'm going to assume, release of the game. So at least I did that. That was like $1.99. But let's look at these prices here. So you got 1,000 mithrils for $9.99. You got 2,800 plus a bonus of 300. Ooh. So that is $3,100 for $28. And then you can pay $82. So if you look at these prices, you're going to notice something. So basically, it's nearly 1-to-1. So basically, you pay $10 for 10 of those currencies, $28 for 2,800, plus a bonus of 300. So they basically give you like an additional $3 worth of fake currency. And then, you know, if you spend $46, you get $11 extra for free. And then for $82, you get $32 in fake currency for free. So this is why they have the light version, because you can purchase this stuff too. If you have the light version, you can purchase this stuff. Now, if we go to the battle pass, or they call it prize level, but essentially it's a battle pass. Yes, Chocobo GP has a battle pass. Yes, I did get it, you know, just to see how this all works, so that way I can inform everyone watching this video to know exactly how this works. So this is pretty much identical to like any other free to play type of game, especially in the battle royale genres like Fortnite and things like that, where you can basically buy the battle pass and then unlock as you go. The difference is this is actually more in line with Apex Legends, where they have two different tiers. So you get like a free tier, or you can pay extra and you get this other level that you get extra stuff with it. The difference is, and I kind of wish I had it captured, but basically you can basically unlock the gold level of the prize level, and then you can acquire those things, you know, over time as you play the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into a Chocobo GP match. So this part of the game is actually kind of cool. So basically it's like a match type of style, where you start out with 64 players, 8 players each for each separate race, and then the top 4 moves on to the next level until you get to the last 8. Well, and then whoever wins. So this part is actually kind of cool. And the thing that really bothers me too is that the actual racing is mostly okay. There are some issues with this though. Graphically, I think it's fine. You know, it's not like amazingly impressive in terms of the graphics. But let's go ahead and get this started. So in some ways, this does play similar to games like Mario Kart. So the game itself plays fine. You know, I don't really have any issues. Mostly, there are several different problems with the way this game plays. For one, there are some things that will, you know, if you get hit with different kinds of weapons, your vehicle, for the most part, pretty much gets to a standstill, and it stays like that for a while. Where did I get? Because I was okay, third place. So there are some things that, you know, if you get hit, um, you you're basically at a standstill for several seconds, and especially at the later matches, it actually becomes so overwhelming that basically the game starts to feel very, very cheap. You know, like how in Mario Kart, you know, it has a tendency of feeling a little rubber bandy when you get to the higher tier levels. This one's a little bit on the overdrive, and supposedly Square Enix is looking into fixing some of those problems, but there are some serious adjustments that they have to do very quickly if they're expecting this game to have any legs in terms of longevity. Especially on the Switch, you have several different kart racers. Obviously, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the behemoth on the Switch. You know, basically, it just seems like whoever buys a Switch always gets Mario Kart. So, in some ways, it kind of makes sense to have like a light version or a free version to get people playing the game, which in business sense it makes a lot of sense. And this is actually part of the problem too, because if you don't know exactly what you have to do, or or in this case, you know, if I'm constantly getting hit, I'm always going to be nearly at the bottom. And this is on the second level. And this is actually part of the problem I have with this game, especially with this mode, is if you don't have the exact characters you need for each of the races, you're basically going to fail. And it's kind of a shame too, because you know, if you're because I was playing like the single player version and the races are fine. It's just when it comes to the multiplayer, they they seriously have to do a lot of adjustments with the power-ups, with the weapons, with the specials. It's not very balanced. It's almost like you have to go online and find out exactly which stuff you need exactly to be top dog in this, and then you just stick with that. I can tell you this: if you're doing the default Chocobo Racer, you know, the main character on the title screen, and you try to do this mode, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win because that character is severely handicapped in that, you know, it's not an especially fast racer. You know, the controls are only okay, but also when it comes to the special powers, is not all that useful. So there are some problems with this. The race itself, when you're playing like single player, I think it's fine. You know, it's a competent racer and things like that. However, like I said earlier in the video, the in-game currency and the microtransactions in this game, it just has this free-to-play mobile game that you can get on your phone for free, and it has this similar kind of style. And by the way, on a side note, the in-game currency, you know, these mithrils that you buy, keep in mind they do expire. So it's not like you can just keep them for a year or two. They expire after a certain amount of time. And that is something you have to keep in mind. So if we go back to the eShop, let's see if there's any information about that. This is also part of the problem because they're not actually telling you this. Oh, and by the way, it actually tells you here too. Please be aware that it is possible to spend mithril to gain items in the Chocobo GP Lite version 2, but the items available in that version are restricted. So keep that in mind too. You can buy with real money these currencies, go back in the game, purchase stuff, but because you're on the, if you're not on the full version, you can buy stuff to unlock, but you can't use because you haven't paid the $50 to unlock all the stuff. So say like for example, you only play the light version. You spend $82 in mithrils and then go in the game and start buying stuff. But because it's locked, because you don't have the full version of the game, you can't use them. I don't know what's the deal with Square Enix lately, but besides this and several other past games they've been releasing, I don't know who in the high ups are making these kinds of decisions. But I'll be honest with you. $50 for this game, from what I've been playing so far, this should have been like a $30 game at most. On top of that, if they wanted people to rely on buying those in-game currencies with real money, they should have just made this a free-to-play game, have all this stuff ready to go, you know, just let everyone play it, and then they can rely on people buying those mithril currencies with real money. That's not what they did. They came out with a light version that is strictly mostly for the Chocobo GP mode. And you can still buy with real money in the light version and buy stuff that you can't actually use because you're on the light version. Gaming in 2022. What do you expect? This is gaming in 2022. Yeah. It's yeah, it's I don't know what to say. But yeah, this, and keep in mind, this is within the week of the release of this game, and I'm on the full version, and there's only one lobby. So this kind of tells you one of two things. So either A, I am severely in the minority of suckers that paid full price for this game, or two, no one gives a crap about the regular multiplayer mode. It's all about this Chocobo GP, which is honestly why Square released the light version. Because in order for this to work, you need people playing the game. Hence why this is the main attraction. So yeah. The way I look at this is it worth trying out this game? If you're curious about this game, download the light version. Don't bother buying anything, just try the light version, go straight to the Chocobo GP and just try it out. See how it is. If you want to get the $50 version, get it mostly for the story mode. And you know, if you want to do like the time attack in the series races, so you can do stuff like this. And like I said, the single player stuff, you know, apart from the multiplayer and the free to play in-game shop, stuff like this is fine, and it's a competent racer. The problem is this other tacked on stuff that's been added on top of it that kind of makes this game a complete mess. And it's a real shame too, because like I said before, the actual race itself, you know, if you're just playing normally, you know, I think it's fine. You know, some of the tracks are not that bad. But it's all that other stuff that just severely just brings this game down. And it's a real shame. And if you don't really know about the history of this series, there was a version that originally came out back on the original PlayStation. And while there were issues with it, there were people, at least at the time, enjoyed it. And I get hit. But look how long it takes to recover. So yeah, this part here is like playing a single player game of Mario Kart. So all the, like I said before, all the single player stuff is fine. It's mostly because of the multiplayer stuff and the free to play type of model of the game shop. And it's a real shame. So yeah. And by the way, before I end this, Nintendo did release the course expansion stuff for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and from the tracks I played, at least for the first batch or the first new batch of tracks, they're pretty good. So if you're already a Nintendo Online Plus expansion subscriber, you can automatically get them. You just have to go on the shop and basically unlock it. Or you can pay, I think it's like 20 or 25 bucks, if I'm not wrong. You know what, just out of curiosity, let's jump on the eShop real quick. $25 for the booster course pass. But I'm paying for the online expansion version, so I automatically get that. So there's no need for me to buy this. But yeah, honestly, if you already have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and you're getting the booster pack, unless you're like a really, really big kart racer fan, there's little reason to go into Chocobo GP. And it's a shame. You know, I think it's a real shame because the single player stuff in general, I think it's fine. The story mode, honestly, I don't really care for. But the single player races are fine. It's really just this other stuff. So, yeah, it is what it is. I just want to give my thoughts on it, and that's pretty much it. So anyway, if you played it, Let me know how you liked it in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe if you're not subscribing like always. Have a good one.